Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham. In this video, I'm going to explain you about the qualification, disqualification and qualities of an auditor. In the last video, I have explained you about who is an auditor and what are the provisions regarding appointment of an auditor. That I have discussed in detail in the last video. If you have not watched the earlier videos, I suggest you to go to the playlist of my channel. Select the subject auditing. Watch the first 2-3 videos. Definitely you can be able to get the good command on the subject of auditing. Now in this video, before start explaining the qualification, disqualification and qualities of auditor, I suggest you to take a screenshot of this theory which I have written on the board so that you can jot down the points and can be able to remember and write excellently in examination. So now, first of all, qualification of auditor. What are the provisions contained in Companies Act 2013 regarding the qualifications of auditor? So first of all, the provisions relating to qualifications of auditor are contained in section 141 subsection 2 of the Companies Act 2013. And according to this section, the qualification of auditor says a person shall not be qualified as an auditor of a company until and unless he or she should be a qualified chartered accountant within the meaning of the term chartered accountant in Chartered Accountants Act 1949. So the Chartered Accountants Act 1949 has given the meaning of the term chartered accountant. So every auditor should be a chartered accountant according to the provisions of Companies Act 2013. What are the other provisions? Such chartered accountant needs to possess a certificate of practice. There are two types of chartered accountants. Chartered accountant in practice and chartered accountant in employment. So if the chartered accountant in practice, he alone can become an auditor of a company. That means the auditor must possess a certificate of practice issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI. Third one, according to Dixie, other qualities of auditor. One of the experts, he says, other qualities of auditor includes honesty, tact, good judgment, and integrity, and so on. So every auditor should possess some qualities. The qualities he should have a tactness. He should be honest. He should be good in judgment. There should be integrity in his approach. So these are the other qualities which every chartered accountant must possess. Next one is auditor should possess sound business and financial knowledge. Until and unless the person have a good grasp on accounting and auditing, he cannot perform the functions of auditing. So he must have sound knowledge of business and financial accounting. So these are the qualifications required. The first qualification, he must possess a certificate of practice of chartered accountants given by the ICAI. Secondly, according to Dixie, he should have integrity, he should have tactness, he should have good judgment, honesty. Then next one is he must have sound knowledge of financial and business procedures. And according to AAS, an auditor needs to be independent, objective and honest. So according to AAS, every auditor should be independent, should be objective and should be honest. So these are the qualifications required to become an auditor. What are the disqualifications of an auditor? The provisions related to disqualification of auditor are under section 141 of the Companies Act 2013. Following person cannot be appointed as auditors. So who are the persons who are debarred or who cannot become an auditor of a company? The first one is an employee or officer of the company. First of all, Companies Act says an officer or an employee of the company cannot become an auditor of the company. company. Secondly, a body corporate other than LLP. A body corporate cannot become an auditor. That means a natural person only, natural person or persons can be auditors. An artificial person or a body corporate cannot become an auditor. Except other than LLP, limited liability partnership is there, that can become. Next one, a debtor of the firm whose debt is more than rupees 1000. A debtor of the business whose debt is more than 1000. For example, Mr. X is owing more than 1000 to the company. That means Mr. X cannot become the auditor because he is due for more than 1000 to the company. A person who is employed by an officer of the company. Suppose an officer of the company is there. Of that officer, one employee is there. That employee cannot become auditor of the company. So a person who is an employee of the officer of the company cannot become the auditor. Last one, a person who is disqualified on the basis of the aforementioned provisions are also not eligible to be appointed as an auditor for the holding company or its subsidiary company. Suppose a person is disqualified on the basis of all these cases. In that case, he cannot become the auditor of the holding company or any of its subsidiary company. So these are the disqualifications of an auditor. So I have explained you about qualification and disqualification. Now another question which may be asked in examination, what are the qualities of an auditor? What are the qualities of an auditor? So apart from the basic qualifications required as per law, there are a number of other qualities which must be possessed by the person to function, to perform the functions of an auditor. So what are the qualities? A good auditor, apart from having required qualifications, should also possess the following qualities. Apart from the basic qualifications required by law, apart from that, the other qualities which are required by an auditor are, first one, integrity. Integrity. The auditor should have integrity. The most important quality of an auditor is honest and truthfulness. The auditor should be honest in his approach. He should be truthful, and he needs to be of high moral standards. That means he must possess a high moral standards. So this is the first quality of an auditor. Second, objective and independent. The auditor should be objective in his approach. While performing the auditing function, he should do it objectively and independent. That means the auditor should not have any personal interest in the client's business. He should be completely independent. And auditor should possess the quality of objective thinking while performing auditing job. Everything, whatever he is verifying or watching, everything should be objectively done. And further, he needs to discharge duties without conflict of interest independently. That means when he performs the auditing of the company, he must not have any personal interest in that company. He should be completely independent. Then next one, tact and intelligent. The auditor should be intelligent. Auditor needs to be intelligent and tactful while verifying and auditing the financial records. He should be always cautious, intelligent. Always he must have in mind where are the errors that may be committed, all these things. Next, eye for details. On all the transactions which an auditor is verifying or watching, so in that case, he must do it with full cautious and also in detail. So, auditor needs to be diligent and pay attention on the details during the course of the audit. For each of the transaction, for each of the item in the financial statements, he should go in detail. Next, quality of confidentiality. During the course of audit, the auditor will get lot of information of the client. That information should not be disclosed to any other person until and unless it is required to be disclosed by law or according to professional rules. So whatever is required according to law or according to professional ethics, that only should be disclosed. Other confidential information which he gathers during the course of audit should not be disclosed to any other person. That should also be one of the quality. Next one, practical and fearless. That means the auditor should be practical in his approach, should be fearless. So he has to collect all the data which is required for auditing fearlessly. Auditor needs to be practical and fearless while gathering required information from company officials at the time of audit. So he should be completely fearless. He should collect the data from company officials without any fear and positive attitude. He must not be suspicious. The auditor should not be suspicious. He should be more practical, positive in his approach. Auditor needs to have and show positive attitudes while interacting with the clients. The next one, responsible and prudent. The auditor's job is very, very responsible, because after auditing, he has to give the audit report. On that audit report, a number of decisions will be taken by many parties. So all the decisions depends on audit report. The audit report will be prepared by auditor. That's why it's very responsible job. The auditor should be very responsible and prudent. The auditor needs to have qualities of responsibility and prudence while giving advices or suggestions to the client. While giving suggestions or advices to the client, he should be more responsible. He should be more prudent. Then, updated and latest amendments. There are a lot of changes taking place in environment, in law, in accounting. So an auditor should always be, in touch with the latest amendments in the auditing and accounting practices. So in order to perform his job accurately, an auditor is supposed to keep himself informed about the latest developments in auditing and accounting. Then vigilance. He should be always be vigilant. That means he must know in mind that where the errors may occur, where the fraud may occur, so which area requires more scrutinization, which area can be taken easily. So all these things, the auditor should be very much vigilant in deciding which area requires more concentration and which area we can do with sampling. So the auditor should be vigilant and cautious while performing the audit work and must have the capability of identifying errors and frauds. So normally one of the function is he has to locate, he has to find out the errors or frauds in the books of account. So until and unless an auditor is very much vigilant, he cannot be able to identify the errors and frauds. So these are the other qualities which are required by an auditor apart from the basic qualifications required to become an auditor. So he should be intelligent, he should be vigilant, he should be cautious, he should not disclose the information, confidential information which he gets during the course, and he should be in touch with the latest amendments in the accounting, in the law and in auditing field, etc. So in this video I have explained you about the qualification, disqualification and qualities of a good auditor. So inshallah in the next video I'll take up the next topic in auditing.